Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Launched in 2015, this is the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch Dark Side of the Moon Pitch Black. The Dark Side of the Moon came out in 2013, the Gray Side in 2014. It became an expansive family of watches in 2015. This watch is the more practical companion to the Black, which is all but illegible, but a little bit more pared down and muted compared to the Dark Side of the Moon. So let's talk about size and fit first. It is all sapphire and ceramic, which means it's very light. It is a 44.25 millimeter diameter case that is 16.5 millimeters thick, 49.7 millimeters from lug to lug, and there's a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, the watch is very thick and it has a cantilevered bezel. That means it's a little bit difficult to wear it under a cuff, but it's not broad across the wrist, so you can probably wear it on a wrist as small as 14.5 to 15 centimeters circumference. There's really no issue with it from side to side. It's just very thick, but it is light, and that's important. The materials are hypoallergenic, so if you have problems with nickel allergies, this might be the watch for you, as there is no nickel steel here. We have a calfskin strap with a contrasting stitch to match the dial and the bezel. There's some bolstering to give it volume and body. It has a folded edge, and as you can see on the underside, a contrasting stitch in red on the underside. So it is calfskin on the top, calfskin on the bottom, and it has a rubber gusset set that's actually sewn in to prevent gouging and premature wear of the strap, so it's designed to last a long time. The clasp is a combination of titanium internally and then externally ceramic, so this is a high wear zone. A lot of watch companies like Hublot will give you a titanium clasp, an all titanium clasp with a ceramic watch, which means you ultimately disfigure the clasp even if the watch still looks new. By putting the ceramic on the outside here, Omega ensures that once this is on your wrist and buckled down and your wrist is on your desk moving back and forth, there will be no disfigurement of the ceramic cap of the buckle, which has both polish and satin in a handsome contrast, twin trigger release, and then the strap fits into the buckle just like that. It actually clinches down, and then there's no need for minder loops externally, and you can't see the excess length because it all tucks beneath the clasp. This is a long-running Omega clasp design, but a good one. Taking a look at the case, lyre-style lugs beveled inward and outward with the outward lugs polished, and then there's a character line that's polished that runs from lug to lug. The mid case is satin finished longitudinally. The bezel is polished on its outer face, but as you can see, it is satinated on its top. We have a crown featuring the Omega logo. Crowns are all ceramic, and as you can see, the watch is abundantly lumed in both the dial and the tachymeter. Take a good look here. You can see that all of the printing, everything, all of the scales, all of the sub-registers, even the name, the model, and the logo are loomed on this dial, which makes it very different from the Dark Side of the Moon and even the Gray Side of the Moon. A couple of other changes relative to the Dark Side of the Moon are the use of a matte black rather than a polished ceramic dial. We also have blackened indices and blackened hands, whereas these are polished on the Dark Side. You also don't have the red contrasting accents on the dial that you find on the Dark Side. So the watch, of course, features twin registers, but one of them is a mono counter. So you have these co-axial chronograph hours and minutes. So you get a clean twin register design, but with a triple register chronograph. There is a date, and the date disc is black, so everything is nicely synced. We have this time zone feature that allows you to change your local time and even move the date forward or backwards as you travel. Note that the chronograph keeps running. The minutes and seconds hands are not affected. There is a hacking seconds function for when you are ready to set the time to a reference timer, of course. The watch features a tachymeter scale on its bezel, which can be used with the chronograph hand to gauge the speed of an object, such as a race car over a kilometer. Flip it over, you have this lovely domed sapphire, by the way, 50 meters water resistant. The movement is caliber 9300. It is a coaxial escapement, so indirect and direct contact, tangential contact escapement, very minimal friction, power reserve extending, designed by George Daniels, industrialized by Omega. It is also a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. For shock tolerance, it uses a rotor bearing rather than a jeweled staff, as well as a full balance bridge with a free sprung balance. adjusted in 5 positions for the COSC test. We have an anti-magnetic escapement and an anti-magnetic silicon hairspring, so it's a very hardy movement. We have a column wheel underneath a skeletonized bridge, so you can see the mechanism. The feel of a traditional column wheel is very crisp and positive. And because there's a vertical clutch for the chronograph, you can engage without any jump or stagger to the seconds hand. Remember, vertical clutches have no play, and you can also leave it running if you prefer. Because of the vertical clutch, there's no additional wear and tear to leaving the chronograph on full time. 2 barrels to resist the drop-off in balance amplitude that comes with the torque fluctuation of a single barrel. So after 24 hours, a Rolex will lose 30 to 40 degrees of amplitude. Here you don't get that amplitude drop-off because of the 2 barrels. They also provide a 60-hour power reserve, and the balance beats away at a rate that is specific to Swatch Group silicon hairsprings, 25,200 vibrations per hour, all of this pivoting on 54 joules. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this Dark Side of the Moon pitch black.